Okay. Yeah, can you record Trader Dom? And you can just send it to me like via I guess like upload it to a doc and then just send it to my email or something. Um, okay, cool. All right, let's just start it. You guys see my screen? Is my screen lagging? Hold on, dude. Is my screen even moving, guys, for y'all? My mouse? You see it? Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it does that like I don't know why. Okay. So here I'm on a already I'm already on a back test. Here, hold on. Let me full screen this. We're just gonna resume this account that I've been back testing for a while now. Um, First I want to go over this trade that I took as of it was like the last time I back tested. I just have it still on here. So if you look at the weekly chart, this is something I may cover in the course. Um, I know that Ghost already knows what this is and what model I'm really using here. Let me pull up ES over here, right? I know he may know what this is, but it's essentially like when you hit a key level, you can get a new phase of price within that next candle, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm when I look inside of this daily time frame, I see that Friday reversed. We're coming off of an expansion, so when I draw out EQ of this range, right, I can target internal range liquidity or just EQ of this range within this week, right? When you think about a you know even if I wanted to long this week, when you think about a bullish weekly candle, what does it do? Open low first, right? And if we reverse Friday, then I can expect early week to come into this range somewhere, right? Um, so that's kind of my thought process there. So let me break down this trade that I took though. So like I said, if I break this down to like the 4 hour time frame, you can see very clear. Now it's just very clear, right? Very clear bearish order flow on the hourly time frame or on the 4 hour time frame. Let me delete this real quick. Pretty sure I took this a trade here as well. Very clean 4 hour model. Let me actually see if I did. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, I took a trade at 10 a.m. here too. So it's very this model is very repetitive. Look at this 10 a.m. model right here too. Right, 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m. All like I get a trade every almost in real markets. I get a trade almost every day with this model, with the fractal model. But we'll go over this day here, right? So what kind of phase price do we get after expansion that we see right here? Let me make this like back. What phase of price do we get? Consolidation, right? So when I open up 10 a.m. candle, I see the daily candle. I mark out the daily open. What does it do? Right, opens high first, and then we get displacement lower, intracranial CSD, right? London high of the day. So I'm expecting New York to continue, right? So when I drop down, all I'm going to do is mark out the 10 a.m. open. For continuation, we want the high of the candle to be formed from a fractal model. That's it for continuation, right? And we're getting on side, we're getting in or around or within the wick of the 10 a.m. candle, right? We want that 10 a.m. small wick to support our model. So lower time frame model, higher time frame expansion candle supporting it. When I drop down to the 15-minute, I think I took this on. Yeah, I took a very similar trade like this on gold, where the high of the candle was created from a 15-minute um, model right here. And I think there's S&P here if I like remember. Okay, no, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. Right, so let's look within here and we'll show you the model here. Maybe even a model right here as well. I didn't take it though, I don't think. All right, so within candle two, do we have a CSD? No. don't. You get it right here, right? So this is like a candle 3 validation, and then this is your refinement. You don't put your stop loss up here, right? You put it right here, right? This little small, you know, whatever whatever you call it, right? This is like your new invalidation essentially, because when you think about even this being respected, right? We want this candle that we're trading within the candle 3 to have a small opposing run, right? So when this gets validated here, we don't need price to come back up here, right? Because that would create too big of a wick and it would disrespect the point 0.5 of this candle's range here. So you can just enter right on the validation of this opposing candle, and your stop loss goes right here, right? So my um, that's my first what do you call it? Let me show you my education or something. It's my first what do you call it? Damn, I can't talk. TP. My first partial is at 2R, and then the reason why I'm TPing down here is if I just take the daily range London session from swing high to low, you mark out the standard deviation, and then negative 4.5 is the max standard deviation for that. So that's just a good area, right? And then you could trail with that. And we can even look here as well. Let's look here. So notice this, by the way. So when we think about a 15-minute chart, I may add this in my course too. I'll have to ask T, but um, when you think about the 15-minute chart, right, you want to align yourself with expansion, right? So we at this point, we're already aligned with hour expansion. But what you can also do is align yourself with hourly expansion. So if I go to the hourly chart, what are we within? A 1 hour expansion candle. What creates the high of that candle? A 15-minute fractal model, right? You see how you're just aligning yourself with higher time frame expansion candles? So here, you get a valid candle 2, and here is a candle 3 right here. So let's just see if there's a trade. I don't know if there is. So you get a valid candle 2 closure, right? And here it is, right? Ideal swing formation right here. You'll see that we open up. First, we get this opposing candle, but then we take out another high. So then it switches to this ideal swing formation right here. So this is also another valid entry, right? And the creation of that. But at this point, we're pretty low in the range. So wasn't really looking for trades there, but that one runs very nicely as well. But yeah, that was my trade there. I just want to break that down before, just because good learning, good thing to learn there. But let's go to 1400 candle here because there's something interesting I'm seeing right now. This daily range. Not only did we hit within this range, not only did we hit the. Let me just make sure I'm good here. Hold on. Am I good, guys? You good here? I think I am. Okay, cool. All right. Let me full screen it again. Who was that? Oh, never mind. Fuck. I just had to check just in case. Full screen. Okay, I'm thinking that maybe we can come back into this daily range. I don't think the next 1400 candle is going to. I don't think we're gonna get continuation. We'll see if we get a model here. We have to wait for this new candle to open. Now I'm gonna look at ES. Okay, here's the new 1400 candle. I'll like pull up ES here. You can also project this as well. This is just a confluence that doesn't have to line up. It does line up though. Very nice. Um, really we're in a daily like level right here on ES. Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so if we get an hourly fractal model here, possibly, I'll see about trading that higher. Okay, no. This is gonna be mock. This is gonna be really we can get it possibly during mock. Because what I'm thinking here is that we're in a key level, it's a Tuesday. So if this is gonna be a bullish week, bro, it this candle is either gonna close kind of up here. Not it's not gonna close indecision, there's no way. But I'm thinking that if it wants to go bullish, it's gonna turn around probably tomorrow or Thursday or something. So it can close back within the range to start that. Maybe not reversal, but could maybe get to these equal highs right here. Honestly, you could probably just market execute right here to be real. I probably won't trade it. Let's see. Oh my goodness. What was that? Was that Nvidia? See if we go back into the range though. Oh, wow. Holy shit. Damn. That was crazy. Yes. Yeah, there's really no trade there though. That must have been like earnings or something. Okay, so that's cool though to see. Um, this close. Let's just play out till we'll go to like 9. Go to like 9:30 or something. Whoa, whoops. Okay, here we are. Look here. The 4-hour candle. Oh, I skipped a 10. Whoops. How did I skip to 10? All right, we'll see if we miss anything. Within this 6 a.m. candle is tradable. Do we hit this? No, we technically didn't. On this. Oh, this is completely valid. So look here. So you see this swing point that we have formed? This is a valid fractal model, right? So within this 9 a.m. candle, what do you have? You have 9:30 news, right? When you look at the 4-hour candle, right? Small opposing run, right? We have equal highs up here. What do we also have on the 4-hour chart? Just thinking about phase of price from a key level, right? From a weekly or daily fair value gap, we have that expansion, mouth expansion or consolidating, which is a continuation signature. So this is really good to see right here. So see if we have a 30-minute. Okay, we have also a 30-minute as well. We have this 30-minute close, right? So generally, you can trade this higher probably. Let's see. Let's see what we get here, man. I don't really trade prior to. We're gonna wait till 9:30 because I never trade prior to that. To be real. Okay, so this is valid right here. We're gonna try this, guys. Here's why. So like I said, we have this, right? Now we can probably see if it's a 5-minute close. Probably wait for that. Um, he is also testing 1 hour, 3-minute entries. I think that's what I'm gonna take here, anyways. Um, here, I'll just market executes. Stop loss. This is huge, bro. Let me first put this on and see what that looks like real quick. It's realistic here. Okay, so the thing about this, if I go to the daily candle, it hasn't expanded yet. So it hasn't expanded too much. And the open's down here. Oh, it's down there. Okay. I think we could still get some expansion. We have some news. 1400 news. Oh, what is that? FOMC or something? Uh, 830 news. Well, I think we could get to. I think it's like a max we could get to somewhere up here. You just take this range to here. You have like, premium with that somewhere in here, right? I think we could get there. So we'll see if we get this entry here. I think I like it. A 9:30 for the 4-hour line. Yeah, I think we're gonna take this here. Oh, nice. Very good reaction there. Um, okay, hold on. Let's put our max TP up here, and then we will trim right here. Okay, sweet. Let's go. We'll probably take off. Let's say you went in with 3 contracts. We'll take off 66%. Take off 2/3 of that. We'll go break even. And as far as waiting for the 10 a.m. open, so we're trading within the 6 a.m. candle right now. We'll wait for that. Oh wow, we might get there before. And I expect that. Okay. Um, so we get here. Okay, so I probably wouldn't. Although we do have a fractal model, right? But the thing about this is it's an expansion candle, so I don't think I wouldn't probably take it. See if there was anything. Technically there is, right? But very close to our draw. Right? So here's 10 a.m. open, right? Makes a little open low, creates an intracandle CSD, but I wouldn't take that, but it worked out there. Yeah. This is a really nice trade though. I really like this trade. I love entering around 9:30. So the way I trade, and this can be applied to like the expansion model as well. If you're framing longs, right? You want to be within an expansion candle on the 4-hour chart. That's how I do it. Um, Pretty good there. And I'd probably be done for this day, to be real. We'll see what happens. We'll see what really prints here. Oh, we have news at yeah, we have news. Let's just go the next day, to be honest. Anyone have questions about that entry? Why that makes sense? Wouldn't you want what low taken? Which one are you talking about? Which low? On the 4-hour charts. Showed which one? Let's see. Like these lows. Here's the thing about this. We had 8:30 news, right? So when you see something like this, because when you consolidate, right, there's it doesn't have to manipulate, by the way. It doesn't have to take out like a consolidation low. And we did take out this low, right? So when you manipulate prior to the opening price, and ideally there's SMT for this to be like really, really nice. When you take out a low and then 8:30 or a news event expands away from that, validates this as an opposing candle, and then you get 9:30 doing the same thing, right? You don't need to see those lows being taken, right? Because we're already so close to this draw here, these highs up here. There's no willingness to trade away from these highs either. You get this valid candle through closure, right? Forming the low of 6 a.m. candle. That makes sense, kind of. So a lot of it is framed around drivers. Yeah, like a fair value gap doesn't have to get tagged. You can anticipate 9:30 to continue after 8:30 takes out. Well, 8:30 didn't even take out the lows. It was actually prior. So if I show you like something on NQ, um, I'll show in YM actually. I traded YM Friday off of this direct. Basically, what you just saw basically is how I traded YM yesterday. So we printed SMT, which is manipulation. This is my ideal profile. Intracandle manipulation here. The higher the candle is formed from manipulation rate. So technically, you have to view it like this if there's SMT, right? So we had 8:30 news. So if 8:30 expands away from this, then that validates this as a valid manipulation, pretty much. Does that kind of make sense? So prior to the event, we also had a 30-minute CSD and a fair value gap right here. So that's what I'm trading within. I'm trading within a 6 a.m. expansion candle, right? You see that? I'm trading within a fractal model. So you see how candle 2 forms the high of the 6 a.m. candle. And I'm trading within this candle here, the 8 a.m. candle, which has the driver within it. You see how 8:30 makes the move up, closes below. That's my entry. Really, it's on a 3-minute here. It's a bit cleaner. You can just see it a bit cleaner, right? And I enter on the tag there. So that's my entry. Does that make sense? You can use drivers a lot, confirm bias and stuff. Very important within the 6 a.m. candle, which will be outlined in the course. If you look at my trade on gold too, same thing. We're revolving around drivers. So what am I trading within? This short was really good, by the way, but I traded the long to this high. Right. So what phase of price are we getting? Expansion, consolidation. I'm within an expansion candle on the 4-hour time frame from this fair value gap as well. So when we have 8:30 news, we already have a low of day candidate at this point because on the hourly chart we have the 7 a.m. candle validating this as an opposing candle. So what is this 8 a.m. candle, right? It's a candle 4 on the hourly time frame, right? Ideal swing formation here. So I can trade within this. I entered on the 15-minute though. So what is your validation? Is when 8:30 news trades away from this low of the day candidate, right? Now it is the low of the day, like confirmed. And 8:30 right here trades away from that and also validates a propulsion block, which was my entry. I think you took this too, right, Ghost? I think some of us took this together. And then I was a little bit concerned. Only reason I was concerned about this day in particular is because of the way this previous day expanded huge range. So I'm not actually expecting price to print another bullish expansion candle, but I can frame a trade to the intraday high, which is right here. That's all I TP to. This, I think the sell is even better, to be honest. And it's also the same model, dude. It's actually insane. Look at the 4-hour candle, right? Expansion candle, small wick. What's the high formed as? Fractal model, right? And there's actually logic to go lower. I think it's more logical to go lower than higher. But you could ping pong shit. It was crazy. But I was done for the day at that point. There's some trades in here as well. But does that make sense? I use the economic calendar. No, it's all good. TWS. Really, what that was crazy. Would you say on indices it's more important to have news drivers than when we don't have them? Like for example, there's news at 8:30 and 10. We ideally wait for or until yeah. I mean, you always want to wait for them to pass. If there is news, but it doesn't mean that you can't trade if there's no news. You can always use 9:30. All right, let's go into the next day though. Um, Hopefully it skips to 9:30 at this point. Um, Wait, what day is this right now? Oh wait, okay, okay. We'll do some more. So now we're looking pretty nice, pretty bullish here. All right, this is probably our draw for the week. Um, let's go ahead and skip to the next day. I thought I already did that. Did I not skip to the next day? What is it gonna skip to? Oh, 10. Let's go to 9:30. See if we can trade within the 6 a.m. candle around that driver. Holy shit. Okay, we have a very clear draw here. Fire. Dude, what? Oh man, we're missing this. Within the 6 a.m. candle. Was there news at 8:30? Oh, I'm going back. Dude, that's annoying. This is oh my god, this is literally A plus, bro. Holy shit. We'll still review it. Wow. This is so clean, bro. Right here is a valid entry. Let's see if we can get this retap right here. Let's look at everything. Let's just look clean. Yeah. Okay, so we missed our entry. That's pretty unfortunate. Um, this is a valid, absolutely clean entry right here, dude. So clean. Whoops. I wasn't paying attention to news. We're gonna put our stop loss here. Go for 2R here. I hope we can get tagged right here. Please tag me. That's sweet. Ooh. Oh, we got tagged out there. That's fine. Let's go back. 9:30. Okay, let's just wait for this candle to close then. But let's see if this offered 2R. I'm just curious. I don't know where you. I guess you're pretty stop loss there. Uh, not quite. But this is clean. I would still. Oh, I would still trade this. I think this is very fire. Hopefully this candle like. I mean, we'll see what it does. I don't like that reaction though, to be honest. I don't know why we're reversing. I know we have. No, we don't have SMT either. We should still go higher. I feel like. I don't think I'm gonna long this, bro, or short this. See the next candle here. Mm, I don't know about this, chief. Okay, so we have a okay 10 a.m. candle here. The 10 a.m. candle has to reverse price here. Um, like it absolutely has to, and it does. It can't not go any lower than this. I don't want to see that, right? Um, so we'll see what happens here. So technically, a valid entry would pretty much just be um, a close above here. Technically, that's technically. Wait, is it? Hold on. No, we have to wait. On ES though, we have a divergence. Technically valid on ES. It's a bit riskier. We're gonna try it out because this is the only area for the low today to reverse from. That's the thing. And it doesn't make sense to go short. I really don't think it does. Right? We didn't take out this high. Still have a small opposing run. This is gonna throw a lot of people off, but I think we're good here, man. I really don't think it's logical. I think it's just 9:30. I think it's just 9:30 manipulation for real. We also have SMT here. We'll maybe give it a little bit more, but we'll give it a little bit more confirmation here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna take this on ES. Okay, we're in on ES. Um, basically the entries like this. And there's multiple ways you can do this, by the way. There's multiple ways you can view this entry right here. If this is too like risky for you, you can put your stop loss down here, at the breaker. To the breaker. Many ways you can do it. But I really like this reaction so far. And so it's the same model, guys, by the way. So when you get a feel for this model around 4-hour candles, they reverse price for intraday. Every single low and high of the day is formed from a 4-hour candle model usually. So like I said, this low right here, especially on NQ, what is this model right here? Ghost, you know this, right? This kind of this low right here. The next kind of reverses on price. So when I see a 30-minute model, right here, here, and then SM2 with the low, I could have entered right here. It's valid to enter um, whatever this CSD is at, right? But this is their propulsion block. Probably better to enter out like that. I mean, we haven't even hit TP yet, but these equal highs, I'm telling you, are sus as hell. Super sus. I think we get there. So we'll probably put us where's 2R? Hold on. Let me just go like this. That doesn't really help. We'll just take off something like right here, 50%. We'll go break even at this point. Full TP goes off over here. I think that's fine, to be honest. Here we go. Right, that's a very clean trade in my opinion. But a lot of people are going to be very thrown off by this PA, right? Because if you train within 4-hour candles, though, makes a lot of sense. And is price really going to reverse like this? No, right? Price doesn't reverse from failure swings. Does that make sense? Um, but this model here, right, within this small wick on the 4-hour, the low, all going to be shared on the course. Um, this is a bit harder though, to be real with you. The 9:30 minute, like this here is a profile that I can't even, I don't even know what to label this. Maybe like a York reversal. Um, this just comes down to knowing how markets kind of reverse, I guess, a little bit more experience or so. Not really, it's hard to put in a course, to be honest with you. We'll see what this data is. See if it goes to our draw up there. I would think it does today, probably. Right, so like right here, this would be also a model, but I don't know if there's a trade. Yeah, there's obviously there's no candle there, no intra-candle CSD there. Did we get there? Also don't know if I want to put this in course. Trading candle twos. I don't know because we obviously do it on the 4-hour chart. We just did that. I don't know if I want. I don't know if that's too much, but that's also a thing that you can do, right? It's the same thing. So what do we have here? An SMT and within a 1-hour expansion candle. See the wick, that small opposing run that supports expansion. So when you see the way this candle forms, it opens low first, and then you get your intra-candle CSD. So you can trade candle twos, but I don't know if I want to like. I don't know. That's too advanced. I don't know if T that. I'll see if maybe later on, but we'll get into this next day. See what we got going on here. Go to the 4-hour chart. Hold on, someone texted me. Who was it? My stream good? Okay, never mind. Close another Discord channel. All right. Okay, this looks really good. Again, what does this? What does it look like, guys? It's like the same thing, like little consolidation, consolidation, equal highs. I don't think the market reverses from here. I would look for longs, but what can we not do? We can't long. We have to wait for the next candle to open, right? Because this candle that we're trading within doesn't support expansion. So we're hitting a key level, but we have to wait for this candle to close here. Okay. So on ES, it looks pretty good. We'll see what this does though. All right, so can I use the 30-minute here? Let's see. Okay, we can. Shit, we might even be within a model here. Let's see. I would probably say this is valid mechanically. I think I just missed the entry type shit. Like, it's probably valid though. See if we get a smaller. See if we get a small. This is our draw though, guys. Let's see if we get a smaller like range to go off of. Okay, let's see. Okay, an ES, we get another one, a smaller range here. ES takes out the high though. Okay. I don't know if I fuck with that honestly. Hold on. I don't know if I like that, brother. I think I would rather get in before we create that SMT. What about, yeah, yeah, like ideally you take ES, right? Because here you have here's the model that um, I've shared with you guys. It's this right here. If I show you real quick. It's this right here where we open up within a candle three or something, right? Where you look here, you see on if you see on NQ and ES, we have a candle two closure. The draw's already taken, which I don't not really the biggest fan of, because right now we're in daily expansion, really. Um, it's just lower probability, I would say. Take this stuff up here. Yeah, like it failed. So it's not like totally invalid, but let's see what we do. We form like a new 30-minute. Okay, that's not ideal. Okay, so if this is gonna hold, bro, it absolutely has to reverse right here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you don't reverse right here, off this low or something, because we're in a key level, right? And this could just form the new low of this candle. If I look at where is it at? Yeah, here. This could just form the new low of the 10 a.m. candle right here. But it just needs to reverse right here, bro. Like right here, pretty much. If you close above this, that's your candle two closure. You might even take that honestly, if it closes with speed. Ooh, shit, sick. Um, yeah, I mean, this happens all the time where you get this deep run back in the range. Not really a deep run, but on NQ, it's just a weaker asset, so it's disgusting. We're not going to trade NQ. We're actually going to trade ES right here. We'll give this a go. So this is trading a reversal candle, which I don't know if I want to put in the course, but um, yeah, we'll see. We'll give this a go. And I like this. Um, I like this trade to be honest. We have our ideal profile, right? If I look at the daily candle, I'm probably not expecting the largest expansion in the world. If I just measure out EQ this range, we obviously have that small poison run that supports expansion. Uh, Picture perfect for our model here. If we could just get some sort of, let me try to like measure out a standard deviation maybe, or okay, it makes sense why we retraced, right? If we can get up here, probably be our TP, max TP or something. See if we can get there. And of course, my stop loss is below the low. So wait for this close here. Okay, so boom. So you can already anticipate this kind of forming. Um, Technically, you could enter again. I mean, if you want to trust this, which we will, why not? We'll just add one, just for the sake, because this is the real valid model. I would probably just put my stop loss below here. So it's gonna look something like this, right? That's where our stop loss will be. It might get stop loss right here. Okay, this trade is an L. That's fine. Let's see if we get another re-entry. All right, so hold on, let me see. So might I just swept this out real quick? Let me go to the 30-minute candle real quick. Okay, technically not valid there. This candle closed yet. Okay, this candle did close, so we have a valid 1 hour close. So maybe you got like a 5-minute retrace. Yeah. So, but that one, oh yeah, on the 5-minute, that wasn't valid, but here this is valid. So we'll just enter again. So that would be an hourly model. And then, yeah, still same TP probably. Probably good for that. We'll check the hourly chart, see if we get any. So now we have a valid swing point. Can we get continuation here? I doubt it probably, but like I don't think we're gonna get whatever you call it, an entry. We may. I probably won't enter it. I'm already in two positions, but if you wanted to enter this, guys, for a valid closure here, this looks pretty good because we have SMT right here. Always pair your trades with an SMT. I actually really like this trade. Um, like, but we would want to see this hold basically. But that's also a valid entry. It looks really nice. Um, and that played out beautifully. Nice. This is like that's really textbook right there. I like that a lot. We could probably start parceling, huh? Like, what's this trade at? So we entered here, remember? Put a stop loss at the body. That's what I do personally. Are we at 2R yet? Yeah, we'll take off like 66% again. We'll leave I don't know, fucking we'll just leave this one open, to be honest. We'll skip by 5 minutes here. At this point, we're not looking for more entries, right? We're already high in the daily range. We got positioned around the opening price of the daily candle. Um, so this is good. This is a really clean day, by the way. Even though we took a loss, I like it still. So let's see if we get to our targets. Looking good, looking good. Time is it? Oh, it's 1600. Probably, like, realistically, want to start closing positions at this point. Um, we'll probably close this one. Yeah, like, realistically, you want to close positions. I mean, in real life, I have to close my positions on, like, Top Step or something. We'll just let this one run, just 'cause, I guess. We'll be at, like, break even on this guy. Probably coming back for us, huh? We'll just let it run. We'll see how much R it went. I don't even know how much R this thing traded to. Okay, so that's technically break even right there. So let's see what this ran to, though. That was a 5-minute entry. I think it ran plenty. So realistically, it's not an L or anything. Not a bad trade. But that was a trade we got in on, and it ran pretty well. Oh yeah, it ran like 3.8 R. Probably should have took a partial. But yeah, I just didn't get to that projection. But that was a really clean day to study right there. Really nice. It's the ideal profile wise. Intra intra candle CS or manipulation with the driver. I think too. No 930 reversal. Yep. So we have 930 reversal. This is literally like so clean. Holy crap. Super, super clean. Very, very clean there. Does that one make sense, guys? Okay, do you personally never? No, I do trade candle two reversal into expansion, but it's not taught in the course. So I wouldn't. I don't know if I like. I don't know if I should be teach. I don't want people to be trading like every single reversal candle. It's just like takes a little bit more experience. So I don't know about that one. I'll have to ask Tita. But I'm gonna teach you guys like in the course. You are gonna be trading reversal candles on the 4 hour time frame. But that's a bit different. Like this one that we just traded, right, is a reversal candle. Um, but yeah, we'll just do like questions or something. Yeah, what I was trying to do. When is AM stream? Isn't it like pretty soon? I don't want to be on here. He's here. I don't want to do that. Well, oh, 12. Okay. I have to go in like an hour. You guys want me to show you guys how to trade a candle too? Okay. All right. Let's go to like over here. So I traded within a candle two on Friday. Um, so generally, if you look at any reversal in the market, you're gonna see if we close an expansion candle when we hit a key level, you can frame a reversal off that candle's high. Let me just draw this for you, right? Just like this. So specifically on the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame a lot of times because it's just more confirmation and whatnot. But you can trade on any time frame like that. Like I'll show you some examples. It's really simple. So mainly I like to use the highs and lows. Um, but it can be fair value gaps, order blocks, whatever, right? On any literally any time frame. I'll show you here. There's also with also honorable mention. This doesn't happen much, but when you open up near AM talks about this, by the way. When you open up near a key level, see how this 10 AM open is opening near this key level? It has the, possibility to create that small opposing run because we're opening near it to support expansion. So if you look here, you see the previous candle. Gosh, whoops. See the previous candle hit the key level? So all you're gonna ask yourself is how this candle closed. Is there a reversal within this candle? If I look on the 15-minute time frame, is there a reversal within that candle? No, right? There's absolutely no reversal. So this candle must create the reversal, right? So you still need the CSD within this candle. Um, that's what we get here, right? We open low first. That's ideally what we want as well. Forgot to mention that. So any candle that you want to trade a bearish candle, you want to open high first, then go lower. The reason being, you don't want it to go low, high, and then low again. There's just simply not enough time in the day to do that. Um, unless there's ways it can do that, but there needs to be like drivers or within a like a specific time. Like this right here, this manipulation in particular needs to happen at a key time of day to do that. But we're not going to focus on that. This here we open low first, you get your CSD. So this pretty much like think of it like the intracranial CST that T-Trace teaches. So this validates the wick, right? When you look at the wick size, does it support expansion? Yes. So therefore, we can trade within this candle, assuming that it'll be an expansion candle. It's just a reversal expansion candle, like reversal to expansion. So then I'm just waiting for 9:30 or 8:30 news release, which we get validating this opposing candle, which was my entry on Friday. But we can look on the daily chart and look at this. Oh, look here, look. This is why I was a bit concerned about trading that yesterday, right? So think about phase of price, right? If we're going to get retracement, it's usually going to do it, or even expansion back in the range. It's going to do it the next candle, right? If you look here, my trade on what is it, Monday? I traded this off of this logic, right? This candle hit this high, new phase of price, this candle. When I open up the daily profile, it just confirms that I'm trading within this candle here. Look on the 4-hour chart. What do we see? It's literally everywhere. This candle hit the key level. What does it close like? It's an expansion candle. It's not a reversal candle. So we need to form the reversal off this candle's high. What does this candle's high form from? A fractal model, right? So see how I'm getting my model? Um, it's pretty mechanical too. So if you look at the reversal up here, what does it form from? This candle hit the high, right? It formed a reversal. So my rule is this is pretty. I count this as a reversal candle, damn near, because it has this fat ass wick. Um, but if we sweep out this high, ideally I do not want to see this. I don't want to see this candle, take out this candle's high, right? Because I just want to see this wick support this 10 wick lower. But you can still trade. Let's say this is probably not the best example because this candle is like late in the day, but it's still valid as long as there's a the reversal happens in two candles. You see that? If if this is not a expansion into reversal, just like this is, right? So it's the same rule, right? This candle hit the key level on framing reversal off the high. But here I don't even want to frame reversal off the high because, like I said, it has that long wick already. I would already assume a reversal to be happen. So I wouldn't trade within this candle. Why? Because it doesn't support expansion. I would just wait for it to close. and it has to close a reversal candle, basically. Hence why I want to see a reversal on 2 candles. Now I would want to see the next candles expand away. So hopefully that's kind of not confusing, but if you look here, here's a really good example of that. Actually, I traded this as well, right? So I'm not trading within this candle here. Why? Because this does not support expansion. Trading within the 10 a.m. candle, and see how this candle hit the key level, this fair value gap. This candle reversed, so I'm trading the next candle, right? Reverses in 2 candles. See that? So you can also use this to counter trend, right? Let's say it doesn't reverse in 2 candles. Well, like we don't manipulate this high. That's what it's telling you. We're not manipulating this high. So we're likely to get this range is likely to hold, right? If at the point of retracement, it's just failure swings, we're likely to just continue this range. That makes sense? Or it just means the key level is not strong or whatever. Um, we can go on the hourly chart. You're gonna see the same thing pretty much. We look at this reversal off this low, right? Hits the key level. What does it close? Long wick. I want to trade this candle maybe to this internal range of liquidity here. What about this fair value gap? A lot of times it can just be the fractal model, right? The first candle hits key level can just be a reversal candle. The first candle is just a reverse candle. But then it's just the fractal model, right? Nothing new. Um, but yeah, then we expand, right? But to trade a reversal candle is like this. I'll try to find an hourly example for you. I don't really use that on the hourly too much. Like here's a good example, right? This candle hits the key level. You just reverse off that candle's low. It's expansion candle, right? I use it on the daily a ton though, like a ton, a ton, a ton. So if I could show you on the daily here. So we see right here. Also, we don't even have to sweep. That's the thing. We don't even have to sweep this low. So see how we took out this low? When did we get a new phase of price? Back in the range, right? If this low is going to be manipulation, we're gonna like fail to displace through it. It's gonna do it the next candle. That's the whole idea, right? And to trade this candle, you need a small opposing run. You need to trade expansion away from this manipulation, essentially. Okay. So see how we get that reaction off that first candle, and then it's just about how does order flow hold up, you know? But we'll go into that later or whatever. But this candle here, next candle trades away. So what about weekly profiles? How does this really play into a factor here? So what does this weekly candle do? It opens low first, right, into this low. Also forms SMT here. So see how this makes sense to even reverse? So although this candle is not even a candle two closure, we're gonna get a reaction to this next candle. So it can provide a lot more frequency of trading. This is why my approach, I'm trading like every damn day. But it's with logic. I'm not just trading every single key level or whatever, like right. But it's just a weekly profile, right? Opened low into a low with SMT. This next candle should expand if this is going to hold, you know? Then you get a swing point, and we BS on Wednesday. I don't know whatever that was about. And then we expand, right? Small range, large range. Then I'm not expecting a huge expansion this day. So I thought that I didn't even take the sells, but I thought they were more logical to take than my longs, to be honest. Um, but yeah, if you look over here, what about this high? Like when do we get a new phase of price, right? The next candle. What is this showing you though, right? Do we really displace away from it, right? Not really, right? It's just kind of consolidation almost, right? Then the next candle, right? We open low into a key level. So the reason why you can trade possibly this candle here, I don't really like the wick size, but there may be a 4-hour model, right? Where you can align yourself with expansion, which there is, right? So if I look here, you have this fair value gap, even though it closed over. Let me check out this SMT. I think I remember this day. There's no SMT. This is why I didn't trade this day. I do this SMT one of these lows. That'd be sick. But you see how we wouldn't even trade within this candle, right? Because it doesn't support expansion. You look for confirmation within this candle, right? Now you have that small wick on your side, right? But I didn't even trade that just because there's no SMT. I like SMT there. But if you even look over here, So what do we see about this no reversal off of this high? So I would expect this range to hold if we're not going to put any significant reversal over here. Like if there's no significant manipulation back to the range, especially if there's like failure swings, then I would expect this range to hold. That makes sense. So look what happens when you get to the range though, the EQ of the range. What do we get? Right? Expansion. What do we do? Reverse off that low. And then we get obviously the candle to closure. And then this is very simple, right? Just expect expansion. What about over here? We take out this high. What do we get? New phase of price within this next candle. We take out these equal lows right here. When do we get new phase price? Next candle. We take out this high over here. When do we get new phase price? This next candle. We hit this fair value. When do we get new phase price? The next candle. It's like ping pong. Um, over here, I traded back-to-back days right here. But what does this candle close like, right? With SMT here. Right? What about the weekly profile as well? 3 days of consecutive expansion. What is this profile called? If you study AM's course, it is the Thursday counter profile, where the first 3 days of the week, or just any consecutive 3 days of the week, specifically the first three though, it's very important. You can expect Thursday and Friday to come back to the range. That's the Thursday counter. So even with that logic of just expansion into a high with the SMT, I can expect a new phase of price regardless if I frame it off the high, right? Because this candle here hit this high. So I traded this candle, and then you can just trade the next candle as well, right? We have a valid candle three or candle two closure, blah, 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 blah. So hopefully that kind of makes sense there, right? I traded this day here, get this fair value gap. This candle hit the fair value gap, frame reversal off that low, you know, over here. We got it. Like I said, I don't really use it on the hourly that much. Here you have a fair value gap, right? Once the daily profile is confirmed, then you can start to use it on the hourly, really, right? Reversal off that high, right? This candle hit the fair value gap, reversal off that high. Uh, there's a couple things you can do with scalping, especially with the hourly time frame. But let's look here. You have this fair value gap. When do we get a reaction? The next candle, right? So the rule is also if it's like a 4 hour swing point high, you want to wait for a 4 hour close. You're going to use the 4 hour model. So if it's a daily swing point, you want to use the daily model. If that makes sense. But it's not something to be pattern traded. Definitely not. But you can use it on all time frames. So look at this weekly chart here. What do we get? This fair value gap. So it's going to be it's going to be best when it's within order flow. So see, this is a bearish range here, right? You see how this is a bullish range? We're bullish, right? This fair value gap or whatnot. You're going to get the best models that way, right? Not really trading counter trend by taking out highs, right? That's not necessarily how you want to trade it. Now, if the weekly profile supports that, then you can absolutely do it. Here's a bearish range. So here we frame reversal off this candle's high. That makes sense. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna put this in the course, to be honest, but we'll see. Here it's pretty nice as well. Right, this candle's key level. We would try to trade this candle higher, but if it doesn't support it, see this large opposing run, or is the weekly profile doesn't support it on the weekly time frame, then you wouldn't trade it, right? We just this next candle needs to expand, right? Because it closes the candle too. And this is the two candle reversal, right? So we need the next candles to expand. So you can have weeks of bias, right? You have 2 weeks of bias to this high. Here, this reverses in one candle. I don't know if there's SMT, but it's because we open near it. We have that small opposing run supporting a weekly expansion candle. But um, we'll see if I can put that. How do you place yourself after the daily or 4 hour reversal candle? So I don't know if you missed the back test, but it's pretty simple. So if I just look here, so my model or this trade idea is just from this fair value gap. It's just simple like internal range to external range, right? So if I'm trading with a reversal candle, you still need just like a candle two closure, you need a reversal, which is just a CSD. You need that, right? And then if you're gonna, I don't know what you guys trade, but if guys trade the expansion model, right? This is just the expansion model aligned with a 4-hour expansion candle. Like you could view this. This is also the fractal model though, within a candle two closure, right? Or this could be an hourly fractal model, right? Where we have this is basically the model that is really going to be highlighted. It's my model with the fractal model. Um, that's really what's going to be highlighted in the course probably. It's just the low of an expansion candle on the 4-hour time frame, whether it's continuation or reversal. If it's reversal, the low of the candle is formed from a fractal model. On the 30-minute or the hourly, ideally, use the 50-minute, but it's probably just not ideal, especially if you're going to catch the low of a day. You don't want to be using a 15-minute fractal model. For continuations, you can. But if it's a continuation, you're really going to open up. There's a couple ways, but we'll get into that in the course and stuff. But here, right, you'd be waiting for the news release, right, which is right here. What do you get? You sweep above this low. Really, this is kind of weird because there's no CSD really, just because it's fast. Maybe on the 3-minute. Yeah, like this can work right here. Even though it's a 3-minute, it's gonna absolutely work. Very nice bulky candle. You can just enter on that as your fractal model, right? Because you're just trading within an hourly swing point, right? This is candle for expansion, aligned with a 4-hour expansion candle. You see that? That kind of makes sense. And there's also S&P here, by the way, which is even better. It's S&P there. That's all that is really. So you could just use the fractal model to get on side with expansion. But it'll be very clear in the course. Trust. I think it'll help a lot of you guys for sure. Um, any more questions or anything from the course drop? I'm not really sure. We haven't even started. So basically, I'm just like showing T like how I trade and making diagrams so he understands so he can put it into a course. Because I'm not making the course necessarily. I'm just giving him the information. Yeah, he's putting it in WAP. I don't know how to do that stuff. And he knows how to make it clean and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just giving him my model and he's just gonna make it into a course and make it clean and all that stuff. But you know, make it easy to understand and all that. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna call it. T spot is crazy. Talking about TC model. But yeah, GRT ping pong model for real. But yeah, this should up y'all's frequency. How much trade y'all get in like a week? 3 or 4? That's not bad. That's not horrible. If I trade like, look at my watch list. Like I don't trade all this. I don't trade all these pairs. Um, but I'm really trading these 4 indices. Mind you, I'm only taking like one setup a day. I'm just looking at the 4 indices and seeing which one's the cleanest to trade. And then separate from that, I kind of categorize them all into one asset because I'm only trading one at a time usually. Then I trade gold. Again, I'm only trading one of these 3 assets. Usually it's always gold though. It's always gold. And that's just CL. So it's really like 3 assets. But I get a trade every single day. Damn near. Like almost every day. I'm not looking for a trade every day, but it presents like enough. So we went 5-1 last week. That's really good. You've been using the model, right? Soup? Yeah, it's fire, right? T likes it. T's gonna start using it because it's so good with fractal model, dude. Like insane. Um, Look here, dude. I missed out on a lot of money here, guys. Like, not gonna lie, I almost threw up on this trade. I totally didn't realize that. In hindsight, this is so like stupid of me, honestly. Um, this should have been my freaking TP dog, or around here. It's because of the yes. Yes makes it so obvious. But look here. Um, so I'm gonna be teaching guys an ideal profile as well. So I'm gonna be teaching a lot of guys about profiling because that's a big part of my trading. That's how you can get bias in general. I don't sometimes, bro, I don't even have to look at the daily chart like damn near. Obviously I do, but a profile can tell you a lot, a lot. And a lot of times you're just trading the 10 a.m. candle, so all the information is there. You know, you don't have to guess. Hold on, he's texting me. Would you be able to send me a screenshot of your settings? Oh yeah. Are you in the stream right now, Gab? In the stream right now? No, let me get him in here real quick. I can take a screenshot. What did someone say? I am new here, so you trade the TT strategy. Yeah, I trade the T trade strat, but it's a bit different approach, a little bit. It's like the framework is a bit different, which I think it will help a lot of you guys because that's what everyone struggles with is just bias, right? Knowing the fractal model is easy, very good, but you have to know when and where to use it. I think my model does a pretty good job at just filtering stuff out. And there'll be a course on it, probably within like 2 weeks or something. I don't know. This guy gonna join? This guy in here? Yeah, whatever. I'll just send a picture of my settings to him. Where is bro at? Uh, Correct, dude. Send. There you go. All right, where we at? Where we at? Cool. What was I going over by there? Oh yeah, I was going over this trade that I took last week. Um, Unfortunate trade. I mismanaged this pretty hard. This because I went in with one contract. But here, what do we have? 10 a.m. open. So if you look at this 4-hour candle, I would never trade within this 4-hour candle, right? Because why? It's not an expansion candle. If I want to trade lower, it's not supporting that. So see how this is a filter? I know exactly when to trade. That's the thing. Here, what do we have prior to the 10 a.m. open? We have a fractal model on the 30-minute time frame. So I can just trade. I just expect the 10 a.m. candle to do what? This into these lows. There's no established low today. This is why I was shorting. I was shorting to here, but it makes a lot of sense why I didn't go there. In hindsight, I was not looking at yes. I wasn't looking at yes's low today. But this right here is a very easy target. Um, but I can't partial that freaking. I think AM took this trade as well. He did. I don't know where he TP'd. I know he TP'd earlier. in that low. So here it's already valid to enter, but that stop loss size is insane. So obviously you want to wait. And this is when you get this right here, right? So what do we notice about this to the left? This is a pretty relevant low, the market, and it fails to manipulate it. This is what AM talks about a lot, the failure to manipulate, and the close through the opposing candle after a low gets hit is the continuation same trade. Can't manipulate it, so we're gonna go through it. Essentially, that's the logic there. So this is my trade here. I could have just hit like 2R right there. I put my stop loss personally, like I don't put it at the high usually. I put it like either like at this high or like at the body. At the body is too low for me, but as you put it something like that. And it played out pretty decently. I think my trade like ran like 3.5R and it came all the way back. Actually went more than that. It was ridiculous. The heart. I was pissed. But it is what it is. Still a good trade. Um, but yeah, it actually makes sense why if I go to ES, it's very logical, right? If you look within the daily candle, it's an expansion candle. It's a lot more obvious if I compare it to NQ, right? It's kind of not really two sided, but the wick is kind of a bit longer over here. Um, Over here it's small, right? And it's coming like right when we create the new low today. It's called the delayed protraction profile. We expand. So it makes a lot of sense there. I wonder if there's a fractal model here, by the way. Yep. Isn't that crazy? Now we're not within a 4-hour expansion candle, so it's not nearly as high probable, in my opinion, but that's still clean. Just profile wise. What else we got? You took YM. Yeah, I took YM this was not Friday. This was Thursday. I took YM Friday. I traded YM like twice. Oh yeah, I did. Hold on. This was that day, right? I did take YM. Took YM here to this high. So it's just consolidation, right? Not really clean. Not really clean, right? Here we have the daily open. So what is the 6 a.m. candle doing, right? It's just creating a new low of the day. It's also doing. You see the closure back above the daily open, it's just a closure in general. I can assume that there's a reversal inside of here. And I could trade this 10 a.m. candle long, right? So I look at the lower time frame. Below the 10 a.m. candle could be a fractal model, but it's not ideal because it's an expansion candle. Ideally, I want to get inside of this wick to trade this. But the CSC is too far anyways, and there's no trade anyways within this, by the way. Um, I think there was a 30-minute. Yeah, like right here. Look, this is valid to take, by the way. I actually wanted this trade, but I missed it. Look, there's actually a decent trade right here. I don't even know if it goes 2R, but 2R is like $800. See that's actually a valid win right there. But I actually missed that, so I had to wait till it came back. So at this point, what are we doing? Like, we're expanding lower, we're expanding higher. This, if we're gonna continue the expansion, right? Because bullish order flow is being respected right now. We're respecting fair value gaps, chaining steady delivery multiple times through this range. We're closing over PD areas here, to the left, and now we're creating like equal highs. So like I'm very bullish right now, even though with this close. But look here, we have technically this closure, not the most ideal close, but I'm using my logic here of this candle hit the key level. If this is gonna hold, we're gonna expand the next candle. So like so let's look here. I don't know why I did that. right? So you would need, since this candle didn't reverse, you would need this next candle to do it, and that's what you get right here, like right here, right? I could put my stop loss here as a new invalidation. I think that's what I did, and I can TP up here. So I went in with 2 contracts as well, and you can trade that higher, right? That makes sense. It's just all the same thing, pretty much. The only thing here is the low of the candle. Ideally, you want to catch the low of the candle, but the 10 a.m. open is like right here. So I'm still entering around the opening price, which is nice to get. But yeah, you see how that was an expansion candle. That makes sense. Was this Thursday, by the way? Yeah, that was Thursday. Right. And then you see the next day, prints the same model. It's crazy. On the lower illustration, you want the last 230 candles. Up to six. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so this is just when you open up into a fractal model. It's not always the case though. Let's say 6 a.m. New York reversal. Let's say 9:30 reverses price, which happens a lot. Then I would expect 10 a.m. continuation. So a lot of times, since we open on a new hour, you're gonna have a new 30-minute close, an hourly close. So that can be a candle two, can be a candle three. You can just trade the candle four, a candle three, continuation usually on 10 a.m. There's a couple of versions. There's a reversal version, which I haven't even made. This is just this is a continuation version, like near the reversal. But there's also a continued version like higher in the range, which is right here, which I traded, which would be technically like right here, actually. This is technically with that, right? Um, but I think a CL I took. I traded this. This is a continuation model right here, right? So this is also valid too, but I don't I don't trade that time window. All I'm trading is this candle here to this low. What forms the higher the candle? It's a fractal model. You see how it's actually so simple. It's not even funny. I'm just trading the highs and lows of a expansion candle on the 4-hour time frame, and the reversal is formed from a fractal model, pretty much. There's a couple more things to it, but it's a pretty simple and it's very logical. What channel is for posting his trades outlook? So where do you have just to post trades after? More question. Do you and TT off and also post outlooks before the week starts? Working. I personally don't. I can start doing that if y'all want that. A lot of my trading is just off profiles though. Like I said, I don't even need the daily to. I don't have to predict anything. That's the great thing about my approach. I don't have to predict much of anything. Um, I just trade what I see really, and like the profile. So like I trade New York session around 10 a.m. or around drivers. By that time, already the bias is there. It's already printed. I don't have to anticipate it or anything. Now, if the daily's clean and stuff, then that's great. That's awesome. Um, but like before the week, I don't actually care where it's going. You know, but I can easily do this. By the way, I can easily say I'm looking for a 10 a.m. reversal or 10 a.m. continuation. I can do that easily. If you guys want. Once the course is out, I can easily do that for you guys. Or I can say like, this isn't validated. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not watching this pair because of this, whatever. Yeah, it's just a part of the lens. It's just an addition to the courses already. Laser. Like I'm not sure how it's gonna go exactly, but he said, within like 2 weeks or something, hopefully. I think T does outlooks. I'm not really sure. He's been busy, but Um, like you have to go to where is it, guys? I don't even look at it, but is it, dude? Like right here, TT analysis and TT lessons. Go to that, and there's also AM analysis right here. But if I'm ever gonna do that, it's gonna be right here. Garrett's. Just go to under members. I post all my trades. I post what else I post? Like little lessons and all that stuff. I post back to if you guys didn't see the backtest sessions, I did a whole month of backtesting. I didn't backtest this model specific, but I backtested like the expansion model a little bit. I backtested the fractal model. So if you guys missed that, the whole month here, you look at my channel. Um, yeah, I just post a bunch of examples to refer to, study. Um, yeah, it's all the same model, so it's good to see the repetitiveness. Will you have an invalidation section in the course? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. So I can tell you like right now a little bit. So invalidation is refined. So let's say for this example, when if I want to frame a continuation lower, right? I want to ideally see this respected. That's not a total, you know, game changer because when I look here, although it did come a little bit high, it's really about this reversal happening within the point 0.5 of this candle. So if I show you, see that reversal on the whatever you call it. If I show you here, like it did go past it, right? But here we're forming the reversal, like we're closing back within the lower half of the range. This is the only area for price to reverse from, by the way. Like there's no reason to go higher at this point, right? So and look at all these lows right here. Like it doesn't make sense for price at this point. This is 8 o'clock, by the way. It doesn't make sense for price to wait around for 2 hours to chop around and then expand at 10. It just doesn't make sense for that to happen. So in this case, all I need to see, bro, is just this propulsion block. So, you know, let me get there. Um, but a lot of times, let me try to see if I traded anything here. Did I trade? Let me try to find a recent example. So like a reversal candle invalidation, right? So this candle hit the key level, this candle reverses off the high. Your reversal or your invalidation automatically is either off the first CSD, so like this is now your invalidation, or it's the fractal model itself. So like let's say if it's a 30-minute model, then it would be pretty much anything in here, anything on lower time frame. So you see this, whatever PD array is down here or whatnot, just like the fractal model. Does that kind of make sense? Anyway, let me try to find another day here. How about this day? So look at 10 a.m. This is my model right here, like very cleanly. You have 10 a.m. reversal model where the high is formed for fractal model, right? So my invalidation at this point, it's really this first CSD, right? Because you want to see this hold for a valid candle too. And now I just look within this range. Now my invalidation is pretty much this opposing candle, right? Because this opposing candle is in the around the EQ of this previous candle's range. Does that make sense? See how we reverse off that? Does that kind of make sense there? For continuation, it's a bit different. If I can find an example. Um, I like trade. Hold on, I traded CL this week. What did I trade though? It was an hourly model. There we go. I think it was right here for was it right here? No, it was over here. Yeah, it was right here. So look, we're opening up. This is a really good example, by the way. So 6 a.m. reversal. There's a reason why I'm TPing here, by the way. It's logical. It's because the way this candle is forming, right, doesn't really support expansion all the way down here, right? Very large opposing run. So I'm not expecting that, but I can frame a trade to the low day, which is irrelevant. This low day is absolutely relevant. It's just 1800. So I'm just framing some sort of New York reversal to this low, and then I don't care what happens after that. Um, so if I look here on the 30-minute time frame or the hourly time frame, you have a fractal model. You see what I'm saying? And then when I drop to the 5 minute, if I mark out the EQ of this candle's range, what key levels around this area? It's pretty simple, right? Just this right here. So I actually just entered off this straight up because of the momentum, right? I'm not expecting price before hitting like these. This is a clear draw on liquidity. Price is expanding there. So I'm not expecting price to come make this deep retracement before taking out this low, right? So I just set a limit here, an assumption that the 10 a.m. high is going to form from this key level. I'm not saying it's going to form there, you know, throughout the whole duration of the candle, but I know it likely it's going to form here to get to here. That's all I care about. So that's what happens exactly. Right? We tag that there, and then we get to our low eventually. Right? Then we get to it. That makes sense. I traded that as well this week. And it's the 4 hour model. It's the same thing, right? And if you were gonna wait, you would have traded this probably, but it, it's too close, in my opinion, towards this level. This right here is a very important level, and you see the market reverses here. There's a reason why it does that. Um, but yeah, that's how I would do it. But we'll get into that. It's gonna be super easy to put in the. No, you don't have to pay extra. It's just into the course. You get like 3 courses with one payment. Pretty cool. 4 hour candles are the daily session. So it's either a 4 hour candle will form the low day. So every single day, the low of the day is formed from a 4 hour candle, right? So that's one. And then you're just basically aligning yourself with expansion. So let me show you a good example of this. Let me try to think of let's go here actually. So look on YM, right? This is what I traded on Friday. So see how this daily candle supporting expansion lower, just because it has a small wick. So all I'm waiting for is a 4 hour candle to have the same thing. When I look here, we hit this high. So remember what I went over earlier. If we hit this high, when are we getting a new phase of price? The next candle. Does this candle support expansion to the downside? No. So I'm just gonna wait for that next opening price. So waiting for the next opening 4 hour candle, it gives you a framework where like it cancels out all the noise. Cancel all the noise. Simply just wait for the next candle. Does that candle support expansion? Yes, right. And all it is, bro, with how it supports expansion, it's just a reversal, right? The candle opens right here. It opens high first, so there's no reversal yet. It opens high first, creates SMT, and then how you get on site with it is the fractal model. Here you have an hourly close, right? Candle two. When I go to the 4 hour time frame at this point, what do I have? I have a small opposing run with SMT, right? So manipulation creating the high of the day. You have to think of it like that. I have a 30-minute CSD. That's not required, but that's nice to see. So I can expect this next candle that has a driver within it. If that driver expands away from here, giving me a continuation signature, right, over opposing candle, that could take that lower. This is why I took Friday, right? So all it is a fractal model within a expansion candle on the 4 hour time frame. Does that make sense? And the next candle also expanded. So if you look here on the 5 minute, right, 8:30, really clear on the 3 minute, right? 8:30 makes an opposing run. We close through, creating that continues to ensure. That makes sense. All this would be classified as is pretty much, you know, classic, but I don't know what classic sell day maybe, or the high day is pretty much formed at 7 a.m. So it's really just about framing, some relevant high or low today. Like that's your profile. That's all it is a relevant high or low today, and then you're just trading expansion candles away from that, pretty much. That makes sense, kind of. Uh, but I'm probably gonna end it here, guys. But yeah, we'll get the course out to you guys. Who reported this again? Was it Blazer? Who was it again? God. Or was it Trader Dom? Forgot who reported it. Hopefully. But if you guys missed it, we did like a little back test in the beginning. Hopefully you guys can watch that back. Yeah, no problem, guys. All right. Y'all have a good weekend.